From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Thanks for joining us. We come on the air with breaking news. I'm Josh Breiter alongside Armand Rama. And that breaking news, multiple people are hurt after a mass shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison.
This shooting was reported just before 11 in the morning at the school, which is on 4901 East Buckeye Road. The scene is still considered active. Police are advising you to avoid this area. Roads around the 4900 block of Buckeye Road will be blocked off as law enforcement investigates.
So we do have very little information at this time. We do have crews on the way to the scene. Again, this is just coming into the newsroom. Again, all these details coming in right now. You can get updates right here on the air. We also have channel3000.com updating us, and we do have crews on the way. They should be here to give us this live picture any moment. But if you are just joining us, again, a mass shooting reported on Madison's east side. This is inside a school. This is Abundant Life Christian School. The shooting was reported just before 11 o'clock this morning. Multiple injuries are being reported at this hour. We don't know how many people have been impacted so far, but obviously, as Braden was just mentioning, it's a school. It's the middle of the school day, so we know that this is impacting not only students, faculty, but also the staff there. This is obviously a story we're going to continue to follow, and we have our crews out there. We're going to obviously be learning more details by the minute here, but once we actually get to the scene and see some of those visuals, that's going to be able to tell the visual story, which is what we're doing right here on TV and on channel3000.com right now, is to kind of figure out the lay of the land. We do know police and from many departments, not only Madison, are helping out across the county here.
Exactly. Yeah, our crews will be on there in about 5 minutes as they can give us more updates, as Josh said. But this is such a fluid and really active scene right now.
Send it over to Braden Ross now. She, again, is following a little bit more about this specific school. Braden, are you learning anything new?
Yeah, not much new. We're still trying to figure out what's going on here. We are calling hospitals as well to see if we can figure out how many victims they're seeing, what's going on there. I can tell you a little bit more about this school. Once again, Abundant Life Christian School. This is on the east side of Madison. About 390 students. This is a K through 12 school, about 28-acre campus, and their website says approximately 200 families from 56 churches in the greater Dane County area attend this school here and are part of that community. So wide-reaching effect here, and a lot of parents and a lot of families from around the area that could be impacted here.
We know multiple injuries are being reported, but we don't know much else at that time other than that reunification site being offered at the Dean Clinic.
And I believe I heard correctly, one of our live pictures is able to go up right now. This is across the street from the scene, I believe. As we try to get the camera, obviously lots of moving parts here right now. We can see that heavy police presence, lots of ambulances, lots of police cars, unmarked and marked as well, there at the scene. We're looking at right now what looks to be an ambulance.
Yeah, this is our first live picture here, folks. As our crews get to the scene, getting organized, talking to police. Again, you can see at least one ambulance there. You can see a lot of folks driving around there as well. I'm sure people are looking for answers. Again, if you are a parent, please do not go to the school. Go to the Dean Clinic. They're asking folks to avoid that area.
The shooting was reported around 11 a.m. and we're on the right off of Buckeye Road and Quick Trip. They say to stay clear from the 4900 block of Buckeye Road right now because they're still investigating. Multiple injuries were reported. The scene is considered active and the public is asked to avoid the area. And law enforcement is still investigating this now. We were driving here. We saw tons of ambulances coming our way on their way back from the scene. And right now we're just getting our footing and really trying to figure out what's going on.
And again, some of those MMSD schools are on hold right now. So if you are not a parent of this school district but are wondering, information about the possibility of what's going on at your child's school, just know that those schools are on hold right now, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more on that. So just to file through some of the information we know at this hour. Again, this is a live look at the Dean Clinic. This is the reunification site following that school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. This is on Buckeye Road. We can report multiple injuries are being reported. That is per Madison Police, who we are in contact with. That's about all that they can give us at this time, as it is an active investigation. Again, the roads around that 4900 block of Buckeye Road are blocked off. You saw obviously a lot of police in the area. They're asking you to avoid the area. So please, if you're a parent, I know the first thing you want to do is go right to the school. Please do not do that. Give first responders that space for them to do their job, Armand.
Yes, and obviously, as you could see there, lots of first responders. We saw a Fitch-Rona ambulance as well as several Madison police, emergency vehicles, police, and EMS. So we do know that it is a very heavy police presence, a very heavy emergency response from around the area here.
All right, we're going to head to our Merrill Hubbard live once again. Merrill, what can you tell us? What are you learning from officials there?
Yeah, hi, Josh. So we're supposed to speak with the police chief in about 15 minutes. This is the designated media area where we're going to meet with him and kind of discuss what's going on here. Right now, we're right off of Stoughton and Buckeye. We're right next to the Unification Center, the SSM Health, where parents are reuniting with their kids. We just saw one parent go run across the street. You know, this is an active area, whether the shooter, that's a fire truck running by, whether the shooter is active or not, we're going to figure that out exactly, the main, status of that. But it's still a very active scene. You can see there's police cars going by. We're seeing parents run to their children. And, I'm here at the Quick Trip, and I was talking to some of the people that were just around the area, just working, really close by. And one guy was telling me that he came to Quick Trip to, get some lunch, fill up some gas, and now he can't get back to work, and he's just trying to figure it out. So everyone here is really just hoping for some answers, and we're hoping to get some here in the next 15 minutes or so. But as of right now, all we know is that there was an active shooting at the Abundant School, and we're going to be having some more information coming up soon.
It could be some time before that reunifying process. I know even in the Mount Horeb situation from earlier this year, it took hours, right? Because police obviously have a lot to investigate. They have a lot of interviews that they have to do with witnesses, whether that be students, whether that be teachers. There's a lot of work to be done before we have a lot of answers here later today. We have Maddie Heimsch live on the scene right now with some new information. Maddie, where are you and what can you tell us?
Yeah, you guys, I'm also at the Dean Clinic. I'm just a little bit down from Merrill, and we're both about, I would say, half a mile east of the school. Again, the Dean Clinic behind me. I'm going to let photojournalist Chris Hawbaker get a zoom into the parents over there at the Reunification Center. Again, we don't know much other information, but this is the center. We have media staging just across the street, so we're watching it. We are watching it play out. I just got word from the city that the Madison police chief will be meeting us here in about 10 minutes with hopefully some more information to speak a little bit more to what's going on here so we can get more information and send it back to you guys. But for now, that's what we have, and I'll continue to keep you updated.
Let's go right now to Will Keneally. He's also live on the scene, who can tell us some more information. Will, where are you right now? What can you see?
Hey, Armand. Yeah, we are here on the scene right outside of SSM Health, one of the emergency rooms that we've seen some ambulances stop by. Right now, all we can see from the outside is two cop cars, so a police presence certainly. Driving in, I will say, too, we did see an ambulance drive north on Park Street, appearing to maybe head towards UW Hospital. That's one of the ERs certainly here in Madison, but a Trauma 1 center as well. We have seen an update from SSM Health saying just within the last few minutes here that they are ending all operations here on Monday, December 16th. Because of this incident here, they will reschedule appointments later today. So we will continue to track what we see here as the story develops and kind of keep an eye here on the hospitals as we are tracking the situation on the east side.
The beginning of the final week of the first semester, so to speak, or the last school days of the 2024 calendar year at Abundant Life are marked with some sort of tragedy, the details of which we are awaiting at this time, with Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes just moments away from addressing, and here he comes right now along with a Public Information Officer, Steph Fryer, as they approach, and we hope to get the very latest information. And of course, they spend a lot of time making sure they have all the correct information from investigators, from those on scene, and making sure that they leave no stone unturned here and giving the best information. Let's go to Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes as he approaches the media.
Thank you for coming and talk about how important the media is to our community. But the truth is, today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country.
That was Police Chief Sean Barnes, and as you heard right there at the end, Steph Fryer giving an update on the death toll, an unthinkable tragedy on this Monday at Abundant Life Christian School. 5 are dead. That includes the shooter. 5 are injured.
It is confirmed.
Those injuries ranging, as the police chief said, from very minor to life-threatening. So we hope certainly that the death toll doesn't rise. But again, 5 are dead. 5 injured at Abundant Life Christian School on Madison's east side from a shooting this morning. He described the perpetrator as a juvenile, a student. So we will continue to not speculate on anything further about the victims, as he said, as they try to notify family members on this tragic Monday at Abundant Life.
Yeah, Police Chief Sean Barnes saying there that the police found the suspect dead inside the school. He also saying in the press conference that police didn't fire their weapons at the suspect, who they believe to be a student at that school, a juvenile suspect. But yeah, a very sad day here in the Madison community.
Absolutely awful, and not the kind of story you want to deliver ever on the news. And it is the second incident in a year's time. And we remember what happened at Mount Horeb, where a young life was lost in a threat of a school shooting in Mount Horeb last year. So all too often we are reporting these stories, and once again, but this time affecting the city of Madison, and 5 dead at Abundant Life Christian School, and they will have another update in 2 hours at Fire Station 14, which is the new station on the southeast side in their community room. We'll have more information, hopefully to bring you at about 2:30 Central Time. Madison police have confirmed to us that death toll that you heard relayed to the chief of police in his press conference was incorrect. So we are happy to report it is only 3 dead. That is still not a happy report, but we are glad it is not 5. So they have corrected a report. You heard that relayed to the police chief Sean Barnes mid-press conference, where his PIO said 5 were dead, 5 injured. It is 3 dead still, 7 injured. Still a very tragic and awful situation, and our thoughts are certainly with all of those folks dealing with those injuries, which the chief did describe as life-threatening. So again, 3 dead, 7 transported, a correction from what Madison Police Department reported a little bit ago. Let's go to Merrill Hubbard live. I think she is just outside the SSM Health East Clinic as well. Merrill?
Yeah, Eric, that's right. I'm still right out here where I've been for the past hour and a half or so. And it is good news to hear that it's now only 3 instead of 5, but still 3 dead is a tragedy. And one of the main things that Sean Barnes said in his presser was that no matter the event, or no matter how many die, all of the kids that are there at that school are going to remember this. This is going to be something that sticks with them for the rest of their lives.
The ripple effect for me after the Columbine, I remember being in school early 2000s, middle school, high school, and whatnot. That's when we had to start wearing lanyards with our ID cards, and we had more school resource officers. We didn't have metal detectors or anything, but we had the doors were all locked in schools. There was one entrance that we could get in, and we had to, if we were leaving the building, we had to sign out. So that was when I started seeing just a little bit more of these safety measures start to go into schools, and that's only multiplied over the years.
Right. Yeah, especially, getting into my generation, like where this is, like when I started school, these are things that were implemented already simply because of what had happened before us. And I'm not sure what the protocols are now, but I'm sure they've intensified even since me graduating.
Yeah, and the one thing I would urge all parents out there, as your patience is tested on this reunification, be patient with law enforcement, be patient with your school, because I'm telling you, they do everything they can. They go beyond in terms of, they go over the top and making sure that all these students are safe. I recall our first incident was many schools on the west side were locked down of Madison because there was a murder suspect that was being pursued by police, who was later, this was many years ago, I would say 10 years ago. It was post Sandy Hook, and so it was a very heightened time of security. Right. So the key is for parents to be very cooperative and be patient. We know, as you saw with Mount Horeb, how difficult that is, and our thoughts were with the parents, like how long they were being forced to wait to find out it. Just have I think most of them knew their child was safe because they had communicated with them, but you can't imagine how difficult. You want to touch them, you want to hug them, and hold them in your arms and make sure they're safe. And we're prepared to get some sort of an update. But again, our thoughts right now are, whatever the update is hopefully that that number doesn't grow, that those numbers stay at no more than 3 dead. That does include the shooter in this situation. 6 are injured. Those injuries described by the chief as everything from minor to life-threatening. We've had Will Keneally stationed at St. Mary's, SSM St. Mary's Hospital in downtown Madison, which is a level 2 trauma center. UW Hospital, of course, a level 1 trauma center, and the American Family Children's Hospital also, in terms of dealing with pediatric trauma, is also well equipped to, we have an outstanding medical community in Madison that we are blessed with, one of the best in the country, quite frankly, and they're going to do everything they can and respond not only to those situations that happen as a result of this, but to continue to provide care to all the other things that happen. They got to do all that stuff. And we're going to go to the microphone now where Chief Sean Barnes is giving us an update.
I'll be providing a brief update of the school shooting that we had today in Madison. There is some information that we're not going to release because it's still an ever-evolving situation.
So I've just wrapped up a press conference. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes, Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway. We also heard from Dane County Executive Melissa Agard as they give us more information on what exactly transpired today at Abundant Life Christian School. Just before 11 o'clock when that call came in, the latest update, one teacher, one teenager, and the shooter all dead, also described as a teen, the shooter. And our thoughts, of course, are with that entire community, and especially right now for those directly impacted. We do know that there were 6 injured, 2 are critical, described as life-threatening injuries by Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes. We continue to cover what happened today at Abundant Life School, a short distance from where the Unification Center is that Merrill was just a moment ago. And obviously they're clearing out some audio issues there. We do have a signal now. Okay, well, let's go to Braden Ross, who is live closer to Abundant Life Christian School. Braden, what do you have for us?
Hi, hopefully you guys can see us here. We are just here. You can see the school behind me here. I'm going to step out of the way and have my photographer zoom in a little bit on what this school scene looks like right now. So essentially what we're seeing here, we see a lot less police presence than we saw earlier. You can see people are able to walk through here now, but we see a few police cars and squad cars still with lights on, of course. Down the road, we've also seen Metro buses staging, which we're assuming is likely to be able to take those kids home when they are going to be reunified with their families.
But again, they're still piecing together their investigation. And for more on what happened at that press conference a short time ago, let's go to our Maddie Heimsch, who is now live at Fire Station 14 on Madison's southeast side. Maddie?
Yeah, Eric, like you said, that press conference just wrapping up a couple minutes ago. We heard not only from Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes, we heard from Fire Chief Chris Carbon, we heard from Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, and new Dane County Executive Melissa Agard. Now, I want to talk about what Police Chief Sean Barnes had to say. He gave a little bit more information than what we had at the prior briefing about those victims. We know that 2 victims were dead, and then the alleged shooter, the suspect, would be the 3rd person dead from this scene. And of those 2, we know that 1 was a teenage student and 1 was a teacher. We just learned that from Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes just moments ago. And the other victims, here's what we know so far. 2 students are in critical condition with life-threatening injuries, and 4 others are being treated with non-life-threatening injuries.
It's been an unthinkable day for so many people in our community.
It really has. And as we mentioned, there's been a widespread impact on schools in the community. Madison area school districts, the Madison area school district went on hold in many of their schools. Again, as we see this large bus pulling out, that's one of those big BRT buses, as Meryl was talking about, that she was seeing pull into the lot at the clinic for the reunification center. And then there's the other end of that where they are going. But we will begin our 4 o'clock coverage right now as we have crews out in the field, team coverage of the Abundant Life School shooting crews right now, bringing us updates on what we know so far. We welcome you to Live at 4. And we begin with Maddie Heimsch, who is live keeping tabs on updates that came from the press conference that we saw just a little over an hour and a half ago. Maddie?
Hey, Eric. Yeah, like you mentioned, that press conference that just took place. I'm here at the firehouse. We heard from officials. We heard from Police Chief Sean Barnes. We also heard from Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, the fire chief. We heard from new Dane County Executive Melissa Agard. I'm going to let you hear directly from Police Chief Barnes. The big update that he gave was being able to confirm that the teenage student, that the suspect was a teenage student at Abundant Life Christian School.
We want to go to our Merrill Hubbard, who is live at that Family Reunification Center at the SSM Health Clinic at Stoughton Road at Buckeye. And Merrill, what are you hearing at this hour?
Yeah, Eric, I actually did just see a couple kids of their parents right over here. They had their backpacks on. They were holding their parents' hand, and it looks like they've been reunited. We're not sure exactly the status of how many kids have been reunited back with their families, but I have seen a couple now. Now, we're over on this side right by the Quick Trip, and we're here because we want to pay respect to the families, make sure that we're not in their space. Not in their space and everything, and just making sure that we respect them. But it is neat to see these kids finally back with their parents, and a moment that's really, really long and awaited for all of them today.
And we know from police at least 3 people are dead, including the suspected shooter.
And 6 others have been injured. Will Keneally outside UW Health with the UW Hospital, the campus there between UW Hospital and American Family Children's Hospital, with more on the conditions of those injured. Will?
That's right. So we've been here for most of the afternoon, and actually for the first time we saw an ambulance drive through here. It's been very quiet. As we imagine, a lot of those emergency calls may have been diverted to other emergency rooms. Here at the UW, it's what's called a Trauma 1 center. That's that highest level of emergency care that can be provided here. Think same kind of care that you might get in a big city like Milwaukee or the Twin Cities. As you're mentioning, Eric, this is also right next to the American Family Children's Hospital. So between the two facilities, they also have a pediatric intensive care unit that people can receive that care from. We do know at least that 2 of the victims from the shooting are critically injured. So we are waiting to hear. We don't know much about their condition aside from that, but we are waiting to hear any updates from them so far. As we've been here, we've been tracking some of the political statements coming in from elected officials. We know that President Joe Biden spoke with local leaders here in Madison. He said in a statement to press that Congress, for example, needs to act now, adding, though, that Jill and I are praying for the victims today, including the teacher and teenage student that were killed and those who sustained injuries. Grateful for the first responders. And he has confirmed that the FBI is working with local law enforcement efforts here, and that at his direction, his team has reached out to other local officials as well. So we'll continue to provide you updates throughout the evening here as we learn more about the conditions of those injured, and as we just hear more. But for now, reporting from UW Hospital, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Has been at the reunification site throughout the day today at the SSM Health East Clinic at Stoughton and Buckeye Roads. Merrill?
Yeah, hey guys, like you said, I'm at the Unification Center, and right now there's nothing really going on here. We did see lots of families coming in and finally meeting their kid for the first time after hearing about the shooting this morning. You know, it's a really big moment for them to actually see their faces and hold them tight. And so it's a lot of emotions out here today. It's very heavy, but also, you know, for these parents that get to see those kids, you know, it's a very relieving feeling for them. And so we're just talking to them. And so we have been standing here, but we can't go over there just because we want to pay respect to those parents. But a couple of those parents have come over here to this Quick Trip. That's where we all are. And we've talked to a couple of those parents and their kids. I talked to a mother who has 3 boys that went to this school, and she just was full of emotion, so happy to see them, but also full of grief for what has happened in her community here today. Take a listen.
It's sad, you know, to be home and then somebody call you and said your kids' schooling like down and shooting, and you didn't know where they are.
We did mention earlier that they and the police chief confirmed that they had exercised a search warrant at that home on the city's north side. Let's go to Jalen Banks for the latest on what we know right now about that investigation on the city's north side. Jalen?
Eric, what has already been an understandably hectic day for people across Madison has not slowed down for individuals that live on Delaware Boulevard on Madison's north side. Now, just over my right shoulder is the home where the incident took place. Madison police confirming just within the hour that the incident that took place at this home has connection to the school shooting that happened earlier today, but cannot confirm as to whether or not the shooter lives in that very home. Now, speaking to individuals that live in this area, they say just around 2 p.m. they heard multiple loud booms, so much so to where it shook their homes.
Today, around 10:57 a.m., our officers were responding to a call of an active shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School here in Madison. Today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country.
You always see it on TV that it happens somewhere else.
You know, with what's been going on the last couple years, that it was going to be a matter of time before this comes to Madison.
We know that at least 3 people have lost their lives, including a juvenile person. This is something that we all prepare for, but we hope we never have to do.
This is an incredibly sad day for our community. On behalf of the Common Council and the City of Madison staff, I want to offer our heartfelt condolences to the victims and families and to the whole Abundant Life community.
And welcome to News 3 Now at 10. We continue our coverage on today's tragic shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. At least 3 people are dead, including the shooter.
Madison police have released a timeline of this morning. At 10:57, a second grader called 911 to report an active shooter.
Well, let's start tonight with Maddie Himes, who has been following the updates from Madison police throughout the day today. Maddie, what's the latest from Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes?
The latest is we now know the name of the shooter, 15-year-old Natalie Ruppnow. Officials say she went by the name Samantha, again, a 15-year-old student at Abundant Life Christian School. We also know that the shooter died in transport to the hospital, not on the scene, from what officials believe to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Of course, we have to wait for the medical examiner's office to make that determination, but that is what officials believe to be the cause of death at the moment. Now, Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes also detailing the 911 call made from the school this morning.
At 10:57 a.m., a second grade student called 911.
Maddie, thank you very much. A large police presence was reported at a home on Madison's north side today.
And police say that home was connected to the shooting at Abundant Life. Jalen Banks is live there at the scene. Jalen.
Eric and Brady, yes, I am here on Madison's north side, right on Delaware Boulevard. The house right behind me around 8:30 this evening. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes confirming that this is indeed the home of the shooter. Residents in the area tell me the home incident happened around 2 p.m. this evening. Police Chief Sean Barnes earlier saying that they interviewed individuals from the home that are a part of the family of the shooter, and at this moment they were not able to find a motive.
Madison in the national spotlight this morning after a deadly shooting at Abundant Life Christian School on the city's east side.
We have team coverage this morning. We start with Chris Stanford, who is live outside of the school. Chris, what can you tell us about what's going on out there?
Josh and Kyrie on Abundant Life Christian School, still very much an active crime scene this morning. There are several Madison police units, both inside and outside the school, and police tape surrounds the campus. Those shots yesterday were fired inside the school here at Abundant Life on the east side during study hall. A teacher and a student are dead, as well as the gunman. There are other victims as well. 4 of the 6 other victims are still in the hospital this morning. 2 of them are in critical condition. There's a lot we're still working to find out this morning, but let's tell you what we do know. It was 10:57 a.m. yesterday. Those shots were fired. That's when the first call came in. A second grade student made that 911 call. Law enforcement arrived within minutes. We're told the Dane County Sheriff's deputy arrived right at 11 o'clock. A Madison police officer then arrived a minute later. It was 11:05. Police announced the shooter was down. They cleared the building at 11:14. Meanwhile, Madison fire officials had to tend to the victims. They took the first patient to the hospital at 11:26. So all of this happened in just about a half an hour.